Hello, my beautiful human beings. My name is Kelpie. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to check my other social media and join our sensible community. Without further ado, let's start with the first story. Unlikely Salary for 09 asks, am I the asshole for laughing when my son came home from meeting his girlfriend's parents because he chose to behave like he does at home? My son burps a lot while eating. I have tried telling him multiple times that it is rude. I've told him to slow down so he doesn't swallow air with his food. I've told him that it is disgusting. My wife will instantly jump in to defend him. She will say that's just the way he is and that it's not his fault. The thing is, he can control himself when I remind him. He just chooses not to. He just went on a date with his girlfriend last night and she tore him a new asshole. It was his first time meeting her parents since they live in another city. They went out to a fancy restaurant and he burped all the way through supper. He came home almost in tears from her chewing him out for behaving like a jackass in front of her family. I heard him telling my wife about it and I laughed. She asked what was so funny and I reminded them both that I had tried dozens, if not hundreds of times, to teach him table manners, and he rejected them and she protected him. I said that now he is a grown man and he had to learn the hard way. They both think she overreacted and that I'm the asshole for being amused by his experience. The general consensus in the comment section is not the asshole. Let's see what the users say. Not the asshole. I also laughed at this. How old is your son? Doesn't matter either way. There are times for this behavior. Dinner at a restaurant is not one of those times. Girlfriend did not overreact. Hopefully he learns a valuable lesson from this. And OP comes back with the answer, 22. The comment section was left in disbelief. 20 goddamn 2. I was expecting, like, 16 or some shit. Not the asshole. OP, that's hilarious. Lonely3 says, not the asshole. OP, to vote this way, I'm taking a leap of faith that you and his doctor have eliminated the possibility that your son has a medical issue, and I am assuming he's just an immature and poorly socialized young man. Sadly, I've known a few young men who think they can belch and fart around girlfriends, and their parents same as they do with frat brothers. Still, consider apologizing for laughing at his situation and introduce him to the art of manliness. Website. At last, a user brings an interesting perspective with its question. Random question not relevant to any judgment, but I'm curious. If you were to exhibit the same behavior when eating with your wife, whether at home or out with her family or friends, would she be equally apathetic towards it? Does she not see the constant burping at the table as rude at all, or use, or just because her precious snowflake son does it? Here are my thoughts on the situation. Supporting your son no matter what might seem like a good idea, but it could actually hold him back or make him feel entitled. It's normal for parents to want to make their child's life easier, so enabling behavior is usually unintentional. However, when parents meet all of their child's needs instead of letting them learn for themselves, essential life skills can be missed out, like no burping while having a meal. Stick to your plan of promoting his independence, but also show empathy. For example, you can acknowledge that it may be hard for him to stop burping while eating since he's been doing it for a while. Meanwhile, you can encourage him to burp less each time and offer a reward if he successfully goes through a meal without burping. The same goes to your wife. Congratulate her every time she changes her perspective about burping. It will be useful to point out behaviors that you changed in the past because she told you made you improve to, so it feels like a balance. Pavlov Bell method for the win. It's not about changing everything in one day, but consistently working towards creating new patterns. I hope that you can solve this issue and you're able to have a more enjoyable meals altogether. Best of luck, OP. PastelClouds 808 asks, am I the asshole for telling one of my daughter's classmates' moms to fuck off about what I put in my daughter's lunch? No, names in this story are real. For some context before the story, I, 38 female, cook Asian foods regularly for dinner and for my daughter, Lily's, 7 female, lunches at school. This is because my family enjoys these foods, and my mom cooked a bunch of these foods growing up since she's half Japanese. Oftentimes, I'll either give my daughter some leftovers from last night's dinner, plus a fruit, veggie, and a snack, or I'll make her a quick little bento box or some other thing really quick. So, after school one day, my daughter wanted to play on the playground for a bit before we went home. I said she could play for a few minutes, and she ran off to play. I was waiting next to this other parent, who we'll call Deborah. While I was waiting, Deborah came up to me. "Deborah, are you Lily's mother?" "Me? Oh, yeah, I am." "Why?" "Deborah, well, your daughter's lunches have been bothering my son, and I would like to ask you to pack something else." "Me? What? How are they bothering him?" She then proceeded to start talking about how her son was complaining about my daughter's lunches smelling terrible and that he thought it was disgusting. She also said her son didn't eat most of his lunch because he was so grossed out. "Me? Okay. I understand your son doesn't like the smell, but can't he just sit somewhere else?" "Deborah, are you kidding me? My son shouldn't have to put up with whatever crap you make your daughter bring to this school. It's disgusting." And she started making more vaguely racist complaints. But I was fed up at this point. "Me, listen, I understand your son might not like my daughter's food, but he can very easily just not sit next to her. I'm not changing what's in my daughter's lunches because you and your kid don't want to exist near Asian food. Fuck off." She angrily stomped off with her kid then, and my daughter finished playing soon after. So we went home. I talked to my husband about it, and he said that maybe I shouldn't have told her to fuck off, to avoid her bothering us in the future. Am I the asshole? The general consensus in the comment section is not the asshole. Let's see what the users say. Buhari says, "Not the asshole. Racism should always be called out, and you were right to blow up on her. Though I will admit your husband could have a point, as it is a possibility. This is not the end of this conflict. If your child brings up anything about the other lady's kid bullying her or anything, act on it quickly." Hannah Kelly shares the same opinion. Not the asshole. That woman 100% earned the fuck off. We need to start telling more people to fuck off when they think that. They should be able to tailor their experience of the world by controlling what other people are doing. Brett made a funny observation. As long as you're not packing your daughter with a hole durian, I think it's justified to tell this woman to go fuck herself. Yitzhak comments, "I used to live in Vietnam, and there was a hotel in the backpacker area in Saigon that has a sign that said, 'No prostitutes, no drugs, no durian.'" Vegetable Cod 2340 says, "Not the asshole. She was openly racist and aggressive. She gets what she gives. OP, I would contact the school and your kid's teacher and let them know. At point, I think that Deborah's son is sitting near OP's daughter because he likes bullying her about her lunch. A teacher intervention could prevent further harassment." Finally, Ace Mask makes another observation. "To be clear with what I think you are also saying, not the asshole, and the other woman is definitely the asshole for racism. Never acceptable. I'd love info on what food being sent, just out of curiosity. If it is fish, I think there's some everybody sucks here. I've also sat next to a fish microwave at work before, and though it's never appropriate to bring race into things, some people lack a bit of awareness on how bad their food may smell to others." Here are my thoughts on the situation. If you share space with someone, particularly a classroom or a workspace, your mindfulness of that person's odor sensitivities will be appreciated. Now, I think that the way the mother approached OP was absolutely a bad example of communication because she weaponized a need with the way that she phrased it. In similar situations, you have to make sure it's not an isolated issue. Maybe the kid is hypersensitive to smells. You can also contact the school asking if they have a protocol to solve this kind of sensibilities and bring it up as a general issue in a group chat without placing focus on a single person. Whatever rule is established, no mention of any specific cultural or ethnic food should be stated, ever. Also, approach the subject politely, directly, and with good heart and humor. Don't make this a vendetta, but a place of understanding. Lastly, and most important, ask your kid what exact smell or food he finds problematic because it can be the case. But it's not a smell problem at all, but jealousy. Bentos are extremely appetizing and delicious, and in some cases, kids make this type of claims when they feel inferior with their food. For OP specifically, I will let the school know of this interaction without saying the mother's name, to leave a written trail without incriminating her, so the school can focus on how to solve the problem in a generalized way without a bias. And now, let's read the last story. Professional Hornet 72 asks, am I the asshole for telling my son that village you wanted doesn't exist since you burned it to the ground? This is a bit complicated. I'm a stepmom to 5 wonderful kids. I became their stepmom when the oldest was 9. I adopted all of them but one, and that is Nick. He never wanted me to be his mom, which is fine. The moment he turned 18, he made it very clear he doesn't care about me at all. I wasn't invited to his wedding, any holidays, and so on if he was hosting. My last straw was when he told me that he will come to the Christmas party that I was hosting if I left, so we are very low contact. Along with that, he has blown up every sibling relationship. He has 2 girls now, and he called me up. This was a surprise, and we started talking. After a while, he started complaining about not getting help at all to raise his kids. He asked me to watch them on Sunday and step up as a grandparent. I told him the reason the village doesn't exist to raise his kids is due to him burning that village down. He called me a jerk and hung up. My husband is iffy on the situation, but told me it's my call, since I would be the one to watch the kids most of the time, since he travels often for work. So I am posting here. Let's see what the users have to say about this situation. Alarming Reply 6286 asks, what has your husband been doing for the last however many years? Does he have a relationship with his son? How did y'all function before Nick turned 18? Where is Nick's mother? There's too much missing here, but based on just the information it appears Nick is meeting the consequences of his choices. Not the asshole maybe? OP answers explaining that her husband has a low contact also, but it is due to a different reason. He didn't have a great relationship with his siblings, but they tolerated each other. Nick's mom said, I am out, and basically gave up her rights. I've never talked to her, and I don't think the youngest has even talked to her. Sarah_Shmara is living for the Chisme and asks, info, what is the different reason his father is low contact? Did something happen during childhood? Maybe before you came into their lives. He trashed his hunting cabin and refused to pay for the damages. Another user asked OP about the relationship with its other kids, and OP answered, I'm not his mother, never will be his words. He is the middle child. He never would give me examples, but I am too much according to him. My relationship with the other 4 is great. I personally think he realized he isolated himself from the family. Self_reintegration says not the asshole. He called to complain he isn't getting help. He didn't call saying he regrets that he messed up his relationships. He wants something from you. He doesn't want you. This sucks. Please prioritize yourself and the people in your life who actually care about you. Nisser@123 agrees with the comment and states that Nick has no problem having no contact or telling OP to kick rocks until Nick needs something. Basically, OP is a solution to his own problem, not a human being that he crapped on 4 years, destroyed his own relationships, and now is reaping what he sowed. Finally, Memes96 summarizes the issue with, he wants something from you. He doesn't want you. I felt this comment all the way over at Semicards. Here are my thoughts on the situation. I had this one so-called friend who was just like that. Can't really call her a friend anymore. Those people who always need something from you. Yeah, they're not really friends. They're just users. They have a whole bunch of people they can count on to give them whatever they need, whether it's a free meal, a place to crash, or a ride somewhere. When those people start racking up favors from you, but never bother to return them, the best thing to do is just cut them out of your life. They're not interested in being friends. They just want to see what they can get from you. Just be straight up with Nick and let him know how he had been treating you. If you don't speak up for yourself, he's just going to keep on acting the same way. If he truly cares about mending your relationship, he'll make an effort to change and make things right. But if he doesn't, then you can see that he's not someone you can really trust. It's best to ditch those interested and toxic people in your life for your own happiness, even if they are part of your family. Best wishes to you, OP. And that's the end of today's stories. But would love to see other points of views about this topic. If you have another perspective, please let me know in the comment section down below. And that's all what my sons can handle for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video. Be safe and see you soon.